Hi there. So in breaking down everything I've experienced in at least the last 5 years, I've learned that gang stalking has been a primary component. One of the facts about gang stalking that might or might not surprise you is in realizing that among other features, it's usually funded in some way. This could be monetarily or else by offering services, gifts, or favors. By whom, I'm not sure. It could be one person, 5 people, or 10. In the grand scheme of things, it doesn't really matter. But I don't take for granted the probability that it incorporates members of an organization or organizations. It does, of course, depend on the group's intentions and their resources. Here's what I've learned about gang stalking, particularly gang stalking enacted by a group of people. Number 1, it is organized. Number 2, the foundation of it is confusion. Number 3, military tactics from very outdated books or ideological manuals are sometimes used. And number 4, the true intention is to cause the complete isolation of the targeted individual. First, one major tool utilized is confusion. The desire is to cause as much confusion as possible, not only to the individual, but additionally to others around that individual. The psychological effects of gang stalking are far-reaching. But having a support group or system, including a spiritual practice and or talking to a therapist, is also far-reaching. All of these elements help you to develop tools that allow you to focus on healing the trauma that is a result of the gang stalking. Narcissistic mindsets and behaviors are prevalent in gang stalking groups. When you are signed up, quote unquote, to be gang stalked, so to speak, the individual or group usually enlists others of like mind. They also try to enlist those whose minds can be easily swayed, or else those who can be paid to support or perform. If the narcissist presents him or herself as someone who's affluent, this makes it easier to sway those who see this as a mark of distinction or integrity. And because gang stalking is psychological, the target is not the only victim of it. The methods used by gang stalkers play on the values or morals of those around or connected to the target. So coworkers, friends, neighbors, even family members are approached. This is when very debasing and immoral lies about the target come into play. The lies formulated are geared towards people's sense of justice, and they also heavily influence or incite a sense of moral outrage in people. In cases I've learned about, this means there will be disturbing sexual abuse component to the lies. So it will concern children, which is sick to me, or else the sexual practices of the target. Other common lies have to do with the target's mental health, behavioral patterns, physical health, character, or include substance abuse. These claims are meant to destabilize the support an individual otherwise holds. To me, groups who conduct gang stalking on a single individual based on the establishment of false claims tend to have very cult-like behavior and groupthink. Their activities in such groups, sometimes referred to as secret societies, will not be advertised openly, nor will the true nature of their activities and intentions be apparent, but it can be a kind of open secret. The lies and insinuations promoted about an individual are meant to control how that individual is perceived. They're designed to cause doubt about the credibility, integrity, and honesty of the individual. It's also believed that the more people that are gathered, the more credible their statements or claims will seem. The beliefs of such groups lean towards delusion because they believe the individual or the target literally deserves the effects of their actions, and there's often very little moral constraint in their actions with regard to that individual. On the other side of this, when spiritual or religious groups are involved, they'll believe they have the right to outcast an individual based on their ideology. In reality, this is just another layer to the problem that only serves to further isolate the target. Cliques, clubs, spiritual and religious groups can sometimes be classified as gangs, particularly in this case, but they are far from simple. Believe it or not, beyond the isolation, the real intention is to cause a person so much depression and overwhelm from the gang stalking that they harm themselves. If a person is isolated and feels like there's nowhere they can turn, people don't believe them, they are called or seen as paranoid, the belief is that this all makes it easier for something like this to happen, for the person to harm themselves. These kinds of tactics have been used historically in times of war or in martial regimes. These methods have been used to control those who were somehow a threat to an existing system. It is a form of torture. That's just food for thought. In closing, with all the different technological tools available to us at this time, anything can and has been used as a weapon to affect or control others. And this includes psychological and neurological methods, of which gang stalking has often been found to be a factor. Thank you for listening. Peace.